Sports.
And welcome back. I'm excited about this, and I think we're going to have one. You know what this reminds me of, Sean? And I know you're going to be one of the people who was around for this and can actually speak on it with me. But this reminds me, come along with me for a minute if you will, of a former young power forward who was buried on the bench in Portland. A young man who was traded from the Trailblazers to the Indiana Pacers, who would one day, well, he was always Jermaine O'Neal, but he would one day become the Jermaine O'Neal, the Pacers' perennial all-star and the eventual captain of that team. He kind of took over for Reggie Miller. These are very similar situations. That's all I'm saying. You never know.
Yeah, you sure don't until it's happening right in front of you, bro. So, I mean, that very well could be the case. I mean, I didn't even really think about that. Yeah, I mean, it looks very, very similar. Feels very similar for sure. Because, I mean, Jermaine O'Neal, no one thought he would be the caliber player that he became. Like, people wrote him off pretty much from jump, dude. I mean, he was a stud in high school, and all that good shit, and coming out, no one really thought he had what it takes at the NBA level. Like, I remember watching a little documentary about him not too long ago, actually. There was a lot of discussion about how he was, wrote off from the beginning, and he turned into be the stud that we know today. So, Jalen Smith has that same kind of potential, my dude. Like, there's something about players, man, the underdog players, like something about dudes with chips on their shoulder. Like, you can't ever underestimate a dude with a chip on their shoulder. Like, there's no telling. Like, seriously, I know it sounds cliche, but like, we see it time and time again, dude. Like, a lot of the time with these players that come out who aren't very, are highly heralded or whatever the case may be, have a lot of knocks against them for whatever reasons. There's more often than not, I feel like a lot of them dudes flourish because, there's certain type of dudes, certain kind of players who need that, like, negativity. It's like you got one of the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, used to make shit up just to have a reason to go out and put the kill switch on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, would tell himself lies just to get himself motivated. I mean, there's dudes like that, bro. They just need someone dogging them constantly. And that very well, not saying people out here dogging Jalen, because I think it's honestly kind of the opposite. I mean, I feel like, I'm sure you're not the only Pacers fan who's probably embracing him. He's got hella potential, and you guys saw that last year. Like, his numbers, once you gave him playing time, his numbers definitely went up. That's a good sign. So, but I think him getting drafted first round and then pretty much sitting on the bench for a whole season and a half probably didn't sit with him tight. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sure he feels like he's got something to prove. So I'm excited to see what he does with his time in Indiana. Like, I really do think you guys got a stud and make it for real.
Well, I hate to be that show, but I absolutely agree with you. Of course I do. I hear the angry keyboards already. Of course, I'm being a homer. Let me just say it for you. I understand. But two things can be true at the same time. So just remember, I could be just as right about this as I was about Tristan Thompson to Chicago, but I shouldn't bring that up every episode. Anyway, Jalen Smith is only 20.
Chicago fan type in the comment right now. Like, bro, right now someone's typing like, this dude.
It's okay, as long as me and the Pistons fans are cool, because they got an exciting young team I can't wait to watch, even though it's going to be to my team's detriment in the standings at times. But when you're talking about Jalen Smith, you talk about that chip on the shoulder, and it's a good point, and it's one of the reasons that I thought he was such a good signing is that we really haven't had a chance to see what he could do if given the opportunity to flourish. But then, all of a sudden, things break down in Phoenix between Deandre Ayton and the front office.